Now this is big news. According to Elon Musk, so far roughly 90% of Tesla retail shareholders who have voted in favour of both resolutions. One, ratifying Musk's 2018 CEO compensation, and two, getting the hell out of Delaware and reincorporating in Texas. He continues, the public sentiment is unequivocally supportive. So what exactly was this in regards to? Well, this from the Doomberg terminal. Musk's $56 billion Tesla pay deal opposed by Norway Fund. Norway's $1.7 trillion sovereign wealth fund said it would vote against the $56 billion pay package for Elon Musk, adding to opposition for the car maker ahead of its annual general meeting next week. Quote, we remain concerned about the total size of the award, the structure given performance triggers, dilution, and lack of mitigation of key person risk, the fund said in a statement Saturday. Now, there's a million things to pick apart with the absurdity of this, but let's continue. The vote at next week's AGM will be the second time Musk's pay package has been put before shareholders, and it only should have ever been put before shareholders once because it was already approved. I still can't believe this is happening. A fake judge, an activist masquerading as a judge, avoided an initial vote that approved the package more than half a decade ago. That's right, more than half a decade later, an angry turd with a chip on her shoulder who's got the message that Elon bad spat in the face of shareholders. We've been over this before. Now, regarding this statement from Norway's $1.7 trillion sovereign wealth fund, we remain concerned about the total size of the award. What does that have to do with anything? Serious question. These stock options were a tiny fraction of the value that Musk was required to increase Tesla itself. You know what? It's time to dig up a brilliant little talk from the one and only Jim Rohn.
Okay. So here's how I explain it to kids. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Key to understanding economics. We get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. Marketplace is also described as reality. Reality, the marketplace. Now, it takes time. It takes time to bring value to the marketplace, but we don't get paid for time. It's very important for kids to understand, as well as adults. We don't get paid for time. Mistakenly, the man says, well, I'm making about $20 for an hour. Not true. Not true. If that was true, you could just stay home, have them send your money. No, it's not true. You don't get paid for the hour. You get paid for the value you put in the time. So we don't get paid for time, we get paid for value. Now, since that's true, here's one of the key questions of the afternoon. Is it possible to become twice as valuable and make twice as much money in the same time? Is it possible to become 3 times as valuable as you now are and make 3 times as much money in the same time? Is that possible? Of course. If you want to really emphasize something, that's a good phrase, Stuart. Of course. Of course. Okay. Now, all you have to do to earn more money in the same time is simply become more valuable. America's unique. It's a ladder to climb. Starts down here, what, about $4 an hour? Big argument last year in Congress about the starting place. Should be 5, should be 5, should be 5. Well, no, it doesn't need to be 5. Why not start with 4? It's a ladder. Right? This is not a bed. This is a ladder. This is a ladder to climb. Starts at $4. Now somebody said, well, should be 5, should be 5. Well, maybe. If you're going to stay at the bottom for the rest of your life, it probably should be 5. But that's kind of a pitiful way to live. Start and not grow. Start and not change. Start and not become more valuable. Hey, the whole scenario of life is to start, number 1, and what? Become more valuable, number 2. So America's a ladder to climb. Starts at $4 an hour, and the more valuable you become, you just keep moving up the ladder. Top income last year, what, 52 million? Guy that runs Disney? Would a company pay somebody for 1 year's work $52 million? And the answer is, of course. This is one of those of course places. Of course. If you help a company make $1 billion, would they pay you $52 million? The answer is, Of course, it's chicken feed. I mean, it's not much money.
Nobody says it as well as Jim Rohn. Now, clearly, this is an old clip. Imagine that, a minimum wage of $4 an hour. Now, the irony here is Jim started this clip describing how he explains this shit to children. Children understand this. Add more value, receive more compensation. That's literally how it works. And his final point there, if you help a company make a fuck ton of money, will they pay you a little bit? Yes, of course. And this is exactly what's happened here. A lot of people who are at the absolute bottom of the ladder and refuse to climb just want to cry like little babies and whine. Oh, that's so much money. Fuck you. The absolute amount is irrelevant. How much value was provided? And the answer to this question in Musk's case, more than a 10 times increase in Tesla's valuation. So Tesla shareholders, not short-term gamblers, shareholders who own the stock from the time they approved the compensation plan until today have made 10 times their money. But it wasn't just that. That alone, however, should justify the compensation, which is a fraction of the value increase of the company. A fraction. A chicken feed, as Rohn points out. But it's not even that. It's not even cash. They're stock options. But it's also massively grown revenue and earnings. The company wasn't even making money back in 2018 when this compensation plan was voted for and approved. They were losing money. They weren't profitable. They're now making billions a quarter. They've got about $30 billion in cash and cash equivalents, roughly $100 billion a year in revenue, huge growth opportunities, an unassailable lead in autonomy, and a bunch of other things as well. So the first point here from the Norwegian Wealth Fund, brain dead, to say the least. Strong communist vibes. And Zero Hedge, quoting this idiocy, rightly points out Norway's sovereign wealth fund should sell its 31.6 million Tesla shares at 2018 prices then. Completely agree. Everyone voting no on Musk's compensation should be relieved of their Tesla shares at the 2018 price. Pay back any profits on any stock sold between now and then for a profit. And fuck off. I mean, it's only fair, right? Musk responds, yeah, this is not cool. If they actually surveyed their constituents, they would discover overwhelming support in favour. Again, as Musk points out, huge bombshell, by the way. We now know some information that wasn't publicly available. So far, roughly 90% of retail shareholders who have voted in favour of both resolutions. Public sentiment is unequivocally supportive. Strange then that funds managing money for other people would be voting no. And now, Cathie Wood on Elon Musk's package. Does that sound right? Anyway.
So why don't we start now with some thoughts about Elon's pay package. We know, we can see how controversial this has been, how there are a lot of thoughts back and forth, big debate. And so just want to share our point of view. The first is that I'd argue that no other executive that I'm aware of in history has been more aligned with shareholders than Elon Musk.
So this is an accurate statement. I don't know anyone either. Please, if anyone has any examples. Now, just think about this. Past that statement for a moment. No other executive in history has had compensation that is more in line, e.g. beneficial to shareholders of that company. This is utterly true. It was entirely performance-based. Most executives get paid even for shit performance. Musk was to receive no compensation whatsoever unless he produced truly extraordinary, bordering on impossible results, including a 10x in the value of the company, which directly, obviously, benefits Tesla shareholders. The fact now that some petty shareholders, a small minority admittedly, want to rob this guy of his fairly earned compensation is just despicable. What is wrong with these people?
Committed to no salary, no bonus, no stock comp for 10 years unless he created tremendous value for shareholders, for Tesla shareholders. And what that usually means, this is not all about shareholders. That usually means creating goods and services that consumers love and that make their lives a better place. And
AKA adding value to the marketplace. Enormous value. And you guys have seen what happens when people buy a Tesla. They love the things. I mean, hello. I don't need to expel that out for you, right? World's best-selling vehicle, an army of ranting and raving fans, fanboys, fangirls, safest vehicles on Earth. Truly extraordinary value has been created at Tesla, led by Elon Musk.
And then doing so, surrounded by really good business partners. And that's what we think Elon has done. Now, one thing that people do not understand, and this is important, is that Elon Musk will not be able to cash in on his options, should he be able to exercise them, until 5 years after exercising them. So what that would mean is that Elon probably would stay at Tesla for the next 5 years, which is going to be a crucial period in terms of ramping and gaining traction on the autonomous taxi platform opportunity. So that we think is very important. Now, what were the odds that Elon Musk would hit the goals included in his comp package? And for those who don't know, it was a comp package that included 12 tranches, each with market cap, revenue, and EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Milestone. But the very first milestone back in 2018, when the stock was suffering so much, was that the stock had to double before Elon could get any pay whatsoever. So we believed, and Tasha Keeney and Sam Corris did all the research to support this. We believed that Elon could hit the goals in his comp package, only with brilliant execution. But most analysts, most auto manufacturers, and most people in the media thought these targets were laughable. They didn't think they were possible at all back then. And in fact, this was 2018 and then 19, when Tesla was scaling the Model 3 through what Elon Musk called production hell. Analysts and media pundits peppered their narratives with the word bankruptcy. In fact, Morgan Stanley at the time put out a bear case for Tesla with a target price of $1.
Fact check. Technically, I believe split adjusted, it was actually 66.67 cents per share. This actually happened, by the way. The stock's split 15 times since then. It was like $10 up. This really happened. Of course, I low-key think that Morgan Stanley didn't actually believe this. They just wanted media attention. I'm sure it worked. I'm still talking about it more than half a decade later.
Now, obviously, that forecast was completely wrong. In fact, Tesla, the stock price, shot up to $414 in 2022. So that was a massive scaling as Tesla hit one milestone after another in Elon's pay package. What the company had done was compound revenues at a 49% annualized growth rate, so 49% on average per year. Adjusted EBITDA, 142% on average per year. So profitability increased as Tesla was scaling, and market cap at 91% on average per year from early 2018 to mid 22 when it hit that peak. And even in the last few years, after interest rates have soared 24-fold, and Chinese price competition has become ferocious, Tesla is still somewhere in the $175 to $180 range, which was a far cry from where we started. I believe we were below 20 or roughly around $20 at the start of that journey. So $20 to $414. And even today, after a correction based on macro fundamentals, we're still at that $175, $180 level. Now, what about this $56 billion pay package? That does sound extreme, I guess. Well, it sounds extreme. Now, as Tesla noted at the outset, the accounting fair value of the award in 2018 would have been about $2.3 billion. Why?
Now, this is important, like super, super important. I'm sure Cathie is going to explain in detail why. But this is, first of all, not a cash payment. And second of all, the reason that this $56 billion number is being thrown around now is because the value of Tesla has increased so fucking much since this compensation package was outlined that the value of those options has effectively increased by that amount. So the reason that this sounds absurd is because the value of Tesla's increased by such an absurd amount since, a direct result of the incredible performance from the CEO who was incentivized to grow the company's value, revenue, and earnings. Oh, there's that word again, value.
Why did it get to $56 billion? Well, the size of the award grew in proportion to the value that Tesla created for shareholders. So from $2.3 billion to $56 billion. Now, for perspective, just to put that $2.3 billion into perspective, this is what the board of directors were considering in 2018. For perspective, GM and Ford, each of them, spent $4 billion on advertising in just 1 year, 2018.
Now, that puts things in perspective. Oh, by the way, the difference with Musk's compensation versus the ad spending from these companies, tricking dumbasses into buying their pieces of shit, is that they actually had to spend cash paying to run ads. Actual cash, dollars, cents, real money, as opposed to Musk compensation, which was stock options, punching a few numbers into a table in Excel essentially, and then a tiny bit of dilution for Tesla shareholders, which is already accounted for. So incredibly valuable perspective here from Cathie Wood.
Elon Musk is Tesla's best salesman. He is the best advertisement for Tesla. Tesla has never paid for advertising until very recently. Certainly not in 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22. That 5-year period, Tesla did not advertise. And Ford and GM each spent $4 billion. So Tesla's or Elon's pay package at $2.3 billion was less than the advertising budget that Tesla would have had to have spent, if GM and Ford are any indication, were Elon Musk not the advertising platform himself for Tesla.
Brilliant point. And that point is inarguable, unless, of course, you have brain damage. So, still inarguable. Recall, Model Y today is the world's best-selling vehicle. And as Cathie points out, until extremely recently, Tesla didn't spend a cent advertising anywhere ever. This happened organically. How do people know about Tesla? Incredible products, incredible leader, and Elon Musk is got to be the most talked about person on the fucking planet. So just checking out Elon Bad's X profile, 186.8 million people follow this guy on X. And every time he farts, there's 100 articles and pieces in the media. Probably 200 actually. This counts. Here's an example of this dude's reach on a narrow subject that the X algorithm won't be broadcasting to masses. 4 hours ago, he posts something relating to Tesla shareholder votes. There's already 4 million views on this post. That is 1 million views per hour. Another somewhat esoteric post from the guy an hour ago with 3.2 million views already. 7 hours ago, some shots from the recent Starship launch. 13 million views. 8 hours ago, reposting this. Revenue growth over the past decade, Tesla, 3,333%, Nvidia, 2,628%. 17 million views. You get the point. The amount of value in Musk's reach on X alone, the personal brand this guy has built, is incalculable. Clearly worth multiple billions of dollars per year if you use the ad budgets of legacy automotive manufacturers as a measuring stick. 9 hours ago, the guy posted a video of Starship booster landing. 32 million people. You get the point. This matters. To compensate this guy, a couple of $1 billion of stock options as a one-off performance award, when the reach, the advertising reach alone of this guy year after year after year, has clearly, easily exceeded 5 times that amount. And that's being conservative. It's chicken feed.
Now, Elon has not been the sole winner in all of this. Employees, so Tesla's, I believe all of Tesla's employees own stock. They have been big winners, as have all other shareholders. And, board members at the time, if I were in their position, I would be thinking both sides of this thing. Okay, maxed out, this would be a big payday for Elon Musk. But if he had failed, he would have received no comp over 5 to 10 years and no payout in terms of options. But Elon did not fail. In fact, he succeeded spectacularly, and he should be rewarded accordingly. He did what most, certainly analysts and executives in the auto industry and even in the tech industry thought would be impossible. Now, if shareholders renege on Elon Musk's pay package after 73% of the shareholders in 2018 did vote for it, and that was before all of the risks were diffused, then the public equity market, we believe, is going to lose access to really innovative and creative companies like Tesla, who want to reward their visionaries and their leaders with pay packages commensurate with what they've accomplished.
This is an important and fair point. This is not just about Tesla. This is about capitalism, corporations, innovation, and incentives. There's a whole lot riding on this shareholder vote, which should never have needed to happen again in the first place because it was already approved back in 2018. So, dear Kathleen McSeebom, go fuck yourself. Such a corrupt pile of shit. How dare she overturn the will of Tesla shareholders more than half a decade after we overwhelmingly voted in support of this compensation package? What a shithead.
How can shareholders renege on his pay package after Elon and shareholders like us and others who were holding the stock in 2018 have already taken and overcome the risks of production hell and the risks associated with Tesla actually now producing the best-selling car in the world, the Model Y. We do not understand. In fact, we would say reneging on that agreement is unconscionable. And you can...
I absolutely agree. Unconscionable is the word. So the big news today again, a huge bombshell of the Tesla shareholders, the retail shareholders who've actually cast votes, and we don't know what percentage of all retail shareholders that is, but of those who have voted, roughly 90% have voted in favour of Musk compensation being ratified and Tesla getting the hell out of the abusive relationship they're currently trapped in with Delaware. A positive development. Important to understand, though, that the move out of Delaware to Texas, unlike Musk's compensation package, doesn't just require a yes majority among all votes cast, but more than 50% of all shares outstanding to have voted yes, which is insane. Many shareholders simply cannot vote. If you're one of those folks, if you're a brokerage and they won't allow you to exercise your right as a shareholder to vote, you need to move somewhere else. The bar is much higher for the corporate headquarters moving from Delaware to Texas. But this is a good indication. I wouldn't become complacent, but it's a pretty good indication that there's overwhelming support among all except those suffering from extreme envy of Musk's accomplishments, jealousy, the butthurt babies who burned insane amounts of money gambling in the stocks casino by betting on short-term Tesla options, who are just trying to lash out instead of take personal responsibility for their decisions because they're gigantic sausage wallets. Pathetic, embarrassing, and lame. And those desperate to signal that Elon bad because they've got the memo and for whatever reason, billionaires bad, Elon's the biggest billionaire, therefore Elon bad. So it seems at this point, there's a pretty good chance that Musk compensation is ratified, despite the extremely vocal sausage wallets out there screaming from the rooftops that Elon bad, he doesn't deserve the compensation, the sand in my vagina, etc. Things are looking pretty good. On the corporate headquarter move, however, not convinced. We'll know pretty soon. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. And I haven't missed a daily video in more than 3 years. Must be a coincidence, right? Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. But don't take my word for it. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. By the way, viewer, that makes 2 of us. On to the next. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. This viewer's been taking AG1 for 8 months and says, what an investment. Another. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR or I can keep going. There's plenty more to come. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. If you're still skeptical, hey, I don't blame you. Everyone on the planet seems to be promoting AG1 now, but guess what? They weren't nearly 3 years ago when I had this to say privately to my Patreon audience before there was a relationship, when I was asked about what I was doing for my health, energy, and so on. Just sharing my genuine, honest thoughts about a product I'd recently discovered that was at the time called Athletic Greens, now AG1. If I could only recommend one supplement to take, Athletic Greens, and I'm not getting paid to say this, Athletic Greens is a fucking game changer. I cannot believe how effective this is. No longer having a lack of energy in the afternoons. It's fucking amazing. There's only one thing to recommend, seriously. Try Athletic Greens. You won't go back. So obviously, just like Elon Musk is a liar, a fraud, a con man, a scammer, a fake engineer, and Tesla's going bankrupt, you shouldn't trust that guy from about 3 years ago who, without any financial incentive, was promoting this product to his audience on Patreon when they were asking about health and what he's doing for supplements. Because obviously, there was some other reason he recommended that, obviously. Not sure what it was, but don't trust that guy. And all the testimonials, like my mental game has improved with AG1. I feel better than ever. I'm so impressed I've bought it for both my parents. I feel more focused and have better digestion. Incredible difference. No more afternoon fatigue. It's relieved gut issues. These are all just obviously fake testimonials from fake people. Right? Wrong. Just try it. Unless you hate yourself. If you hate yourself and you don't even want to risk possibly feeling better, this is not for you. But for everyone else, what's the worst that could happen? Try it for a month. See how you feel. It's a no-brainer. Just click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR. You'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 plus 5 travel packs. And you'll take the colossal risk that maybe you might have a similar experience to some of the people whose testimonials we've read in this video.